right up here that I saw. Yeah, there it is over there. And there it is there. There's a gap. It's hard to plant these little tiny spots. That one was clean. But it started. See, for the most part, this is clean in here. There's a little bit of right there. But I want to clean it up because I'm trying to reduce the weed seed population. And the only way to do that is get rid of the weeds. That line right there where I came straight off through there is clean over there. I've walked around in it and looked at it, but this over here, not so much. But it will be when I get through with this. And that was clean over there because I got that on the side swipe. I like that feature on that sprayer. Okay. Die. Die. Spray death on you. Boy, that moisture's coming up out of this soil. We had, about the time I went to bed last night, it was around 12 o'clock. Storm came up. I could hear it raining heavy on the house. Got up this morning, looked in the rain gauge, and it was about 2 inches. So that kind of messed up my plans to take the big boom sprayer and go back out there to the 6-acre catastrophe and put a second spray in on it. Yeah, catastrophe. Had a really poor germination rate out there on that field. Planted into, I guess the soil was still too cold, but it was too wet for sure. It just would not quit raining. You know, you make your choice, make your decision to do what you do, hope for the best. And that was a serious mistake this year on that. And I really hate it too, because that was the field that I put all that fertilizer on and used that treated seed to try to get some control over those nematodes that were in that field. But this up here is doing fine. It'll make what the farm needs to make to qualify to continue being a farm. And that's something you have to do with the county so you can keep your land. Yeah, this is not a horrible weed breakthrough in this spot, but it was just enough I saw up here yesterday to make me say, no, I'm not going to let that go. Yeah, step on the bean plant now and kill it. I'm not going to let that go. I'm going to come up here and get over it and spray it. Don't take that much. I decided to come in here yesterday and hand toss out some fertilizer. That rain last night melted it right in. See what it does for this spot. Yeah, it's like a line right here where I had that boom hanging out running down the side of the field, and I used oh shoot, I can never remember the names of those chemicals. Anyhow, it had offered some words, not my thing. Residual, that's the word. But the line's right here. It's just as clean over here, ground. But that line right there, boom, over. Didn't get the treatment, so yeah, got another batch of weeds. This land got away from me for a couple of years with weeds, and there's a lot of weed seed in this land. But I've got the sprayer rig now that's going to do the trick. I've seen it this year, so we'll get it back under control. Get some of this weed seed out of this land. And that pretty much takes care of it, because I got this is clean. Little grass right there. See if I can kill that. Yeah, up that fertilizer. This is weak soil right here. It's mostly red clay. Getting something to come up in it is actually an accomplishment, and then trying to get something to grow in it's even bigger accomplishment. But this year I remembered, don't plant so deep in it, and it had plenty of moisture, so it came up. Now that fertilizer might help it actually make something. Be sweet if it does. I see you, Morning Glory. Die. And I think I see one over here I missed. Yeah, get wet and die. Oh, slimy spot. Yeah. I was standing over there when I finished up that little spot, and I said, well, I think I mixed up too much chemical. But turns out I didn't, because I can come out here. It's only about 84 degrees out here. Sun's kind of intense, but I can stand it a while longer. Just got to remember to drink stuff. You get dehydrated out here like I did last Friday. On the other side of the Bradford pear trees, you see that big white plywood wall shelter where I keep the combine? I got out there and tried to paint that last Friday morning. I got heat stroke. It was bad. It was real bad. I stumbled into the house, and I was soaking wet. The only thing I could think to do was lay down on the kitchen floor, because I didn't want to mess up a chair being wet like I was. And wouldn't you know it, about 15 minutes later, my wife comes walking in there and finds me laying on the floor, and she kind of freaked out. I had to tell her real quick, I'm not dead, and then I had to explain what I'd done. But I'm still here. Yeah, this street right here, I'm glad I'm walking through here, because this would have popped up and been like, hey, you're ruining my pretty field. It's not a lot of it, like, you know, but it's still just enough there to make me glad I walked out here. A little bit of morning glory. Well, I don't see any more of it on down that way. Let's go over this way and see what we can see. A little bit of that fuzzy stuff, whatever that is. I don't know what it is. And a soybean plant, so it gets sprayed. Dab of Morning Glory. Yeah, these beans are not too far away from having a complete canopy. There is plenty of water here. I know last year there were a couple of times in June and then again in August where it just got way too dry. But this year, plenty of water. Yep, there's more breakthrough of that. And that, and that. Yeah, I spent a lot of time before I got that drone out here walking this field, or all the fields really. But that drone is so cool. First off, it's just fun. It's fun to fly now that I've got the hang of it. But you can come out here and fly. I figured it out. I can get it about 10 inches over the top of this crop, point the camera down, and I can get a real good view of what's going on in here. In fact, this is the first time this year. No, excuse me, I take that back. I walked it last week. This is the second time this year I've actually been out in the field walking, looking to see, you know, for sure that's what I was seeing on the drone. There was a spot up in that field right there. I couldn't tell for sure what I was looking at. Deer stepped on one and killed it. Well, with the exception of the catastrophe over in the 6-acre field, everything I got planted looking great. See, now this wide spot right here where it's missing a couple of plants, look how clean the ground is. The residual I'm getting out of the prefix, let me step over here so you can look back at it, right there like that. The residual that I'm getting out of the prefix is why that's still clean. There is a bazillion weed seed out here. I mean, when your weeds get away from you like they did from me over the last 4 years, real serious, they just make a bunch of seed and it's going to come back on you. If I could have 2, 3, 4 years of excellent control like I've got going this year, I could knock a dent, like I said, knock a dent in the weed seed population and maybe get this place back under control. Cousin built that planter and I love what it did planting beans over in the Allen field. He's back into farming, which, like I said, delights me. And we're talking about taking the old sprayer and trying to rig up a way to spray a pre-emergent right behind planting beans. I know he wants to do something with his corn. There's another row that got driven over. You can see it a little bit shorter than the rest of them. Right there, the one I'm looking at. But it's come back, it'll fill in. Well, let's see if I can find something else to spray with this last little bit of spray I got in here. Should have just mixed up 1.5 gallons instead of 2 gallons. And I got to feed some kind of little critter. You can see where he's chewed all that off. He lives in there, in the poison oak, poison ivy thicket. I'm not too fond of going in there, but I know about where he lives, and at least he stayed mostly on the outer 2 rows. I think what happened is when he was coming out here eating, I came along and sprayed, and then he came out to eat some more, and he tasted that spray and didn't like it, and that might have slowed him down a little bit. because this spot's not bad at all compared to what the greedy critters are doing up there at the corner of the big field. Yeah, critters.